What's up, Zoners? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Youthwolt, coming at you live from the West Coast. And this is the Fantasy Red Zone. Today, we have our plays and our pauses. That is our starts and sits, but there's a little bit more wiggle room, Jason. We're not telling you to sit somebody. We're just telling you to have some pause, man, some pause. We're going to be going over our last week's results, so stay tuned for that. There is some good and some bad. Jason, this show needs some help. Please tell the public how they can help the show right now.
Yeah, if you guys made it this far and enjoyed two friends talking about fantasy football and giving their insight, then please hit the sub, press the like. We like the likes. Leave us a comment. Let us know about any start or sit questions that you may have. We'll try our best to answer them. And we're also on the radio on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you're feeling froggy, we got a Patreon.
Oh, hey, man. Shout out Cart of Mario and Harold Corman. Because of you, man, we got a Patreon. Hey, if you want to help the show out, you can do that as well. Please, please, please. Hey, anyways, man, we got news and we have streamers, Jason. I've got a secret start of the week. Jason, I think that you probably have a gamble of the week as well. So we got some little secret nuggets, man, nugs in this show to discover. So anyways, Jason, let's get into the news. All right, I'm all bringing out a piece of paper like there's fucking news on it. There's nothing. Hey, man, I pulled this one out just for you. Tank Dell, unlikely to play this weekend. We spoke about him dealing with a rib injury on Monday, Jason, or whatever day that was. Hey, guess what? It is so bad. He's not going to play. Stephon Diggs gets that bump.
Yeah, that sucks. I wasn't going to play him anyway. He's on the bench for now. It's like I don't think I could start him until maybe an injury to Diggs or Collins. So, which sucks. I was super hyped about him. Thought he was going to play very well, but I didn't think Stephon Diggs was going to get this many targets and catches and yards and touchdowns or whatever. So, yeah, he's going on the bench.
You were just talking about trading him away, Jason.
Right. I wish it was so simple.
You'll have to wait another week to trade him away. I mean, hey, maybe I'll give you, if you would take Quentin Johnston for Tank Dell, would you take Quentin Johnston for Tank Dell right now?
Yeah.
Damn, I might have to send that. I don't even know, dude. I don't even know what I'm doing. Jason, next up, the Bucs head coach Todd Bowles on whether Bucky Irving has earned the right to be the starting running back. No, we're going to need Bucky and Rashad all year. Bucky had some runs that worked. Rashad had some that didn't. That doesn't mean he's playing better. And he is 85% reliable on the coach speak. So we were hearing a lot of rumblings about him playing more. Today, the head coach just came out and said it's going to be the same situation moving forward.
Yeah, I don't really see him like taking the starting role, but I see him getting. What if this like turns into like a David Montgomery, Jahmyr Gibbs situation?
And that's a good point, Jason, because they have a really good offensive line. Same thing as the Lions, so they could power through people if they wanted to. They just played each other, for God's sakes. But yeah, so just hold your horses on Bucky Irving, man. I love Bucky Irving. I'm seeing all kinds of league-winning stuff on Bucky Irving right now. Jason, you just made a trade for Bucky Irving. How do you feel about it? You're sending me vomiting emojis. How do you feel about it now?
I gave up. I traded Jaden Reed. I was like, man, I just need another running back. And I'm like, well, Jaden Reed I'm going to have him on my bench at most times just because of my other wide receivers. And I'm like, well, he had a big game. He's going to have more big games. That's the thing I'm kind of worried about. Jaden Reed, I think, is going to outscore Bucky Irving this year, right? So that's what makes me throw up in my mouth. What do you call it? Regurgitate?
Yeah, and right now is the time to trade for all Packers wide receivers, dude. I mean, every one of them. So, I guess you were kind of selling them low, but people in their minds still have Jaden Reed just being like a league winner. I was looking at league winners list, and he was on almost every single one of them.
Can I tell you that I forgot I even sent that trade until the guy accepted it? And I was like, saw it this morning, and I was like, oh, bushy-eyed. I'm like, what? I was like,
shit.
I thought it was you. I thought you accepted a trade, and I looked, it was me, and I just got rid of Jaden Reed for a rookie running back.
Hey, the shit you do, man, when you are almost asleep. It's kind of crazy. Hey, you know what, Jason? Let's talk about this real fast. Last year, after week 3, Dak Prescott was quarterback 26. Pacheco was running back 23. A.J. Brown was wide receiver 33. Shane McBride was tight end 50. So we are panicking right now. What I want to say is to this tweet was like, fuck off, dude. Don't tell me how to feel. You can't tell me how to calm down. I will calm up.
Yeah.
But anyways, Jason, this is a good point. You know, I'm all worried about Christian Kirk, ETN, the Jaguars. They could literally turn it around, man, like they did it last year. Who knows? So don't just freak out just yet. You can still make the playoffs, still win a championship.
First 2 weeks is preseason.
Jeez, dude. And then, hey, Jason, Canales says Jonathan Brooks is in the final stages of returning. So Jason was telling me he wants to go after this week with Chuba Hubbard. He is looking to trade for Jonathan Brooks. Then he saw who had Jonathan Brooks, and he's like, can't do that. Right, Jason?
Yeah. I have him in our sleeper league, but I wanted him in our home league, man. After what I witnessed last week, but I don't think it's possible now. When are you going to start him? When do you feel comfortable starting this guy?
I'm not going to start him the week he comes back.
1 week after he returns? 2 weeks after he returns?
Yeah, and they were saying like Brees Hall coming off of his MCL, ACL tear last year. Look at that, dude. That guy's like a top 2 pick. Todd Gurley, maybe, coming off of a tear as well. So hopefully they do not baby him. Hopefully they just give it all to him when he comes back, man. Also, people are talking about dropping Hubbard or trading away Hubbard. Hubbard might still be a flex for a while, even when he returns. And then here we go, Jason. Cooper Kupp. If you want to go trade for Cooper Kupp, man, you better do it now. He just got out of his cast. So Cooper Kupp is still on a lot of the top of people's league winning lists, Jason. Would you trade for Cooper Kupp still?
Yeah, I would.
I'd feel a lot better about that than trading for fucking Christian McCaffrey, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh, this Christian McCaffrey saga is crazy.
Right now, I have the opportunity to trade for Christian McCaffrey, and I literally don't want to do it. So, and then Jason, Roshan Johnson expected to have the expanded role week 4. Right now, dude, I don't give a fuck who's running the ball for the Bears. Right now, I don't care. I just said this is an early season; they can flip things around. But I had to watch those games, man. That offensive line was terrible. They are the new Giants from last year. So yeah, Roshan Johnson looked better than most. Khalil Herbert's still around, Jason. I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't think if you're super desperate, pick him up. But I don't think there's going to be anybody worth starting from this backfield, maybe all year.
Yeah, I guess if you're going to have the best one in this poor backfield, it would be Roshan Johnson. Khalil Herbert, we were high on this guy, but I only saw him have like 1 carry at the goal line. He scored, I think, but that was it.
All right. Then Jason, A.J. Brown, hamstring, and Devonta Smith concussion, not practicing Wednesday. And then Goddard was off on the side. He was dealing with stuff as well. He had the 170-yard game. Dude, who the fuck? I mean, I should put down here on I don't even know if I had a start or a sit for a quarterback. Oh, no, I can't remember. But, dude, Jalen Hurts better score 2 rushing touchdowns this week, Jason, or he's not going to be startable.
Yeah, but what about the wide receivers? Who are you starting? Jahan Dotson?
Covey is who I'd start. But he's injured, too.
Everyone's hurt.
You know that little white dude? I think his name is Covey.
No, I don't. Actually, I don't know who you're talking about. Don't they have that other guy that's who I can't read, Maxwell or
yeah, I just remember seeing that Covey guy make some good. They're like, oh man, that was actually pretty good. So yeah, big deal pay attention to the Eagles, man. All their before you make bets and everything else. All their injuries. Jason, Dameon Pierce expected back this week, and Mixon still day to day. So Akers, he actually did okay yards per carry, Jason, against the Vikings. But yeah, so you could probably just go ahead and drop Akers if you want to.
Yeah, I think he was a one-game pony, really. Especially
Right.
with Dameon Pierce. And ESPN's already projecting quite a bit coming from Dameon Pierce. I think he's projected 9 points in PPR.
Adam's rookie year was pretty amazing for about 5 fucking games, and then the wheels fell off, and then the next year he was like the bust of a lifetime, Jason.
Yeah.
And then, Jason, another one of your players and my players, McBride, remains in concussion protocol, so tight ends are kind of thin right now. A lot of them are injured, and now, I don't know, dude. Concussion protocol pretty much meant a week off. That was a couple of years ago. It seems like people are playing right after concussions these days. So we need to pay attention to this, especially for one of my starts.
Yeah, do you have any streamer tight ends you're going to talk about?
Yeah, I've got one streamer. I've got a streamer for each position, Jason.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Make sure to tune into that segment. It might save your week.
Hey, it's going to be like in 3 minutes, so fucking hold on, dog. Hey, Jason Eckler. I did not realize how good Austin Eckler's been this year. He has been. I was actually thinking about picking him up or trying to trade for him for cheap. Well, he's got a concussion, and we talked about concussions ruling people out not often. This fool's already out for week 4, Jason.
Damn. He got hit hard.
Yeah, and he's been looking good, man. So that was something to keep your eye on because everybody's talking that Brian Thompson looked so bad this last game. Brian Robinson, sorry.
Yeah, I actually saw he didn't get a lot of opportunities this game.
They just said he looked sluggish, and when Eckler had the ball, he looked electric. They said it was like the eye test. It was like the eye test thread on Reddit. All right, Jason. I do want to say, going through all of the news, do not pay attention to like, hey, somebody's limited in practice today. Somebody did not practice on Wednesday. Wednesday is Dude's Day, Jason. Remember that. There was like a whole team. I can't remember who it was, dude. Like every single position, that person was limited. So it's like, dude, don't worry about it too much. My dogs are fighting. Start paying attention to it on Thursday. Wednesday is Dude's Day. Don't trip out.
Yeah, it's when the bros get together and talk shop. No rest day, get the haircuts done.
Jeez. All right, Jason. And this last thing, Addison practicing on Wednesday. I just talked about people not practicing. Hey, man, Addison's out there practicing, hoping to play week 4. Who knows about Addison, man? We have Naylor catching touchdowns. Addison, it seems like Sam Darnold's spreading the ball around a little bit more than Kirk Cousins was, Jason. So, Addison, I'm not going to pick him up because I've got Jefferson and the Vikings defense and Sam Darnold. I'm riding this shit, dude, all the way to the
You definitely sound like a homer right now.
Hey, the one year I can be, dude. I got to ride it. So, yeah. Anyways, Jason Addison, go pick him up, man, because there's a good chance he will do better. And I think this only bumps up Sam Darnold, Jason.
Oh, yeah. I agree. Yeah, Sam Darnold, don't have him in any of my leagues, unfortunately. But, Tyler, you have him.
I bid $7 or $6 or whatever on him last week before that 4-touchdown game. And now people are talking about spending $20 on him. I'm like, holy shit, dude. I don't know about that.
You got
and then here we go, Jason. Let's talk about some streamers. Oh, my God. Every time I do this, I almost start singing. It's the remix to Ignition. R. Kelly, Jason.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah. I love that song, by the way.
Hey, dude. I think it was like 8th grade dance or something. I thought that was a shit. Or maybe I was driving to the dance. Who knows, man? I wasn't invited to any dances.
You were driving to in 8th grade?
You didn't let me. I didn't throw in maybe years later, like on the way to prom, when I borrowed my parents' car and I butt dialed them. And I said I'm driving 95 miles an hour on Olive Drive.
I remember that. Oh,
and then they called me and they said, "What are you doing driving 95 miles an hour on Olive Drive?" That was a Ford Escape, man. That thing hauled ass. All right, Jason. Streamers, man. Geno Smith. You know what? I'm not going to we just got this streamers. I'm not going to write every name on here. But Geno Smith, Jason, these guys are not really... Okay, so it's a college offense, man. Ryan Grubb. We've been waiting for them to explode. Dude, DK Metcalf? Except for that Patrick Surtain, man, they've been looking pretty good. And now they get to go against Detroit. And now there's 3 weeks of information on defenses, Jason. I'm starting to label pass funnel and run funnel defenses. Well, dude, Detroit is a pass funnel defense. They rank what, dude? Let's see. They are giving up the fewest fantasy points to running backs this year. The fewest. They're giving up the 3rd most to wide receivers. So nobody's running on Detroit. They're all throwing the ball. I had to start fucking James Conner last week, dude. I get it. So Geno Smith is going to have to throw the ball a ton. And even though Charbonnet or what's his name, they both catch balls out of the backfield. And then Lockett, Jason, as far as really good matchups against a team that you have to throw against, Lockett has the 5th best cornerback matchup, and DK has the 18th. So this is not only like the way that you have to attack the Lions matchups for Geno, but he's got 2 of the top 20 cornerback matchups for his 2 top wide receivers.
Yeah, last year when they played in like week 2, I think it was in Detroit, that was a very high-scoring game. It looks like it might happen again with the over and under being 46.5. So there are points to be scored in this game.
Sorry, man. This is like the worst. This is the worst my dogs have been for a TV show.
Pay it.
All right, man.
Look at me.
Look at me. So that was the quarterback, Jason. Now on to the running back, Tony Pollard. I've been seeing on a lot of benches as of late. I was going to go try to trade for him. He's on a bench. I think I was actually playing against him. He was on a bench, which actually was the right call last week. Anyways, he's going against Miami, dude. And in my mind, I thought Miami was killing all running backs. Remember, they got rid of their defensive tackle, Jason. He went to the Raiders. That was killing all running backs last year. Miami allowing the third most points to running backs and the 24th most points to wide receivers, Jason. I just talked about the inverse of that. So this is a run funnel defense. Everybody's just running the ball against Miami. Jalen Ramsey's there, and it seems like, dude, they are holding wide receivers down, man. I've been paying attention to them and everything like that. Miami giving up the 12th most rushing yards per game. So again, a ton of points to running backs, a ton of yards to running backs. And then Tony Pollard, dude, coming off a game that he only rushed 6 times for 16 yards versus Green Bay. Green Bay is actually like 15 and 15 against running backs, and they're pretty even. Well, this is not the case, Jason. Miami, you have to run the ball against. So Tony Pollard, to me, is going to get, 20 touches this week. Stream, if he's on your bench, put him in your flex or a running back too. I have him as a running back too, probably this week.
Yeah, last week was the first time he didn't get over 10 touches or at least 10 rushes in the game. Miami, Tyler, they are their defense have given up the second most rushing touchdowns to running backs, and they've given up the second most receiving touchdowns to running backs. So.
Yeah, and Tony Pollard's catching the ball too, man. Tyjae Spears, he was banged up a little bit like 2 weeks ago, and so look for Tony Pollard to do pretty well. I think, Jason, there's a quarterback show going on right now again, like on Netflix maybe. I think Will Levis is on it.
Oh, I'll wait till next year.
That fool should not have agreed to do on any fucking TV shows, man. Oh, my God. Yeah, they're going to cut his ass halfway through the year, man, on TV. Yeah. All right, Jason. And then, hey, wide receiver, I did cheat, all right? But I was like, Tyler Lockett, because I was all about JSN. And there's a direct correlation, man. JSN went off when Tyler Lockett was injured. Tyler Lockett, I don't know if he got injured in the game or if he was injured going into the game, but he only got 2 receptions, like 2 targets in week 2. And that's when JSN went off. Well, dude, like Lockett had a ton of targets week 1. I have it right here. Sorry. I had 8 targets week 3, 7 targets week 1, 8 targets last week. He actually led him in targets, I'm pretty sure. So I'm just saying Tyler Lockett, when healthy, is actually an amazing play, Jason. If I was hurting for a wide receiver, I would literally go try to trade for Tyler Lockett for like barely anything because he is going to be a wide receiver too a lot of the weeks.
Yeah, so this week they're playing against the Lions, who have actually given up the most receptions to wide receivers. So and PPR, that's good, and they're giving up an average of 1 touchdown to wide receivers a game too. So it's a good matchup for him.
Yeah, and I'm starting to really focus on not only like points allowed, but run funnel defenses, pass funnel defenses as well. I'll go down that list, actually, the ones I just have in a second. I do want to hit up, Jason, the tight end that you can stream this week. He was awesome last week. I think people fought for him on the waiver wire, Jason. Well, dude, another huge game coming for Conklin. Denver allowing the 11th most fantasy points to tight ends. And like the fewest to like literally nothing. Like 8 points per game to wide receivers. It's insane. So the only way you can pass the ball on Denver right now is through your tight end. And again, dude, we already talked about Garrett Wilson getting Patrick Surtain. Mike Williams and Lazard are nothing special. So look for Conklin to at least get a ton of targets. He actually tied Wilson with 5 targets last week, Jason, against New England and led them in yards. So look for the same with Surtain and Denver secondary, locking up the wide receivers on the outside, Jason. Even the cornerback's good for the Jets, or the slot cornerback's good for the Jets. So it's going to have to be the linebackers covering Conklin, and he should have another big week.
Yeah, this is basically like they're going to have nowhere else to throw the ball. Because, I mean, we'll talk about Gary Wilson a little bit later, but yeah, the option is going to be the The
Running
tight
backs
end.
and tight ends, dude. Running backs and tight ends. All right, man. So let's go. We got our plays and our pauses. Play. Oh, yeah. You know what, Jason? Let me hit that one up real fast before I start going over all this shit. But, hey, just since I talked about it right there, because since we want to focus on things, run funnel defenses, Jason, where you have to run the ball on them. The Bills, the Cowboys, Miami, and Tampa Bay. Pass funnel defenses right now where you have to pass the ball against them. Detroit, Kansas City, and Baltimore. All right, man.
Start your tight end against Kansas City.
Dude, I know. I was going to do that this week or whatever. Or maybe you have the tight end, but it was too obvious of a tight end. I can't remember who it was. All right, Jason. I do want to go over our starts and sit from last week. You had Deshaun Watson starting, Jason. He finished the week as quarterback 16, scoring 16.5 fantasy points.
16?
I thought you were a genius, dude, for that in that first quarter when he threw like that touchdown on the first drive or whatever. I was like, holy shit, Jason. You called it. And then 16. I said to sit, Jason, Jaden Daniels. He was quarterback 3, finish, and scored 28.1 points. I was like, hey, dude, the Bengals defense looks so good against Kansas City. I think they just focus. I don't know, dude. I don't know what the fuck's going on with the Bengals. That was just a letdown game after that all in against Kansas City. And then, Jason, you said to start Zamir White. No, or did I? No, I said to start Zamir White. Oh, my God. Running back 49, Jason, finish 3.4 points. So, not a great start so far for us. And then, hey, let's continue this, Jason. You said to sit Saquon Barkley. He finished the week as running back 2, scoring almost 30 points.
Yeah. For a second, dude, I saw that he had like 78 yards in like the fourth quarter, I think, or close to it. And I was like, oh, this might happen.
Dude, we were doing a show, and I was like, I'm going to trade for Saquon Barkley, yeah. And then he fucking ran like a 60-yard touchdown. I was like, oh, my God. Jason, you said to start Deontay Johnson. He ended as the week as wide receiver 5, scoring 18 points. So good job on you. I said to sit Mike Evans. That motherfucker didn't even score 2 points. Wide receiver 86. So, hey, there's a couple good ones, Jason. And then I said to start Pitts because I was like, dude, if you can't start Pitts against Kansas City, you'll never start him. Jason, he was tight end 10, so he was a starting tight end. But only 6 fantasy points. Kyle Pitts is almost out of here for me, man. I don't know how you could be so good and never turn out to do anything in the NFL.
Yeah. Who's my tight end?
Mark Andrews. You said to sit Mark Andrews.
Oh, yep.
So we're about 50%. We're a little bit over 50% there. And hey, if you're in gambling, man, you got to get over 50. You're hoping to get 55%. That's like beating the house right there. All right, man. But we were taking some huge risks last week. Do you remember that, Jason?
Yeah.
We're like, what are we doing here?
Dude, I am tripping. I'm like, where did you get your... Deshaun Watson was quarterback 16?
Yeah, this was off of Fantasy Pros. And I just went, I searched week 3 to week 3. Damn. And it has them all ordered out.
That's crazy because I remember I looked in the afternoon, he was like quarterback 8.
Well, there was a lot more games.
Well, I know that Kirk Cousins or Patrick Mahomes didn't pass him. Interesting.
Right. Well, maybe my information's wrong, Jason, but Jaden's right. Quarterback 3. All right, man. Let's get into the new ones. All right, we still have some risks.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Let's start off with the sit or let's start off with the sits, Jason. Start off negative, get negative, make people hang around, leave on a positive note. So
that's me.
First up, dude, we are going to sit a quarterback, Jason. Who's that quarterback going to be?
Somebody that's on my team. Might be a little bit obvious. Anthony Richardson. Pause Anthony Richardson. He's projected 15 points. The over and under in that game is 40. Richardson has averaged 6.5 points the last 2 games, 1 touchdown and 5 interceptions. His completion percentage is 50%. He can't hit his targets. When he's getting pressured, his completion percentage is 46%. And now he faces TJ Watt, who pass rush win rate is 22%, and that's top 15 in the league. Steelers are number one, and quarterback scoring at 8.5 points. That is crazy. Absurd. What's that word, Tyler?
Absurd.
That one. Pretend I said it. They allow 60% completion percentage and tied for second in interceptions. So that's not a good matchup for Anthony Richardson. The Colts offensive line is third in pass block win rate. So this is strictly a skill issue with Anthony Richardson. We drafted him for his rushing upside, but he has one rushing touchdown and was stuffed 2 times at the goal line last week. There's always a chance that he can convert those into touchdowns this upcoming game, but he will continue to struggle in the passing game against the Steelers. I pause Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, and just thinking about it, Jason, because I was like, the Colts, they allow more rushing yards than anybody, right? I checked. It's Dallas is ahead of them right now. But they had to go, the Colts got to go against Caleb Williams and the 63 yards they rushed for last week. So that offset some shit because the Bears can't run the ball. But dude, as far as like even time of possession, I was like just thinking, I wonder what Indianapolis's time of possession is so far when they're literally allowing like everybody just to run the shit out of the ball on them. So they're not even getting the opportunities that they should. And dude, I was checking out this game and I was thinking, I've got AR-15 in the other league, Jason. I put in my waivers. I thought, I you know what? I didn't even check my waivers on the other league. I've got Baker Mayfield. I'm starting Baker Mayfield over Anthony Richardson, Jason. I never thought there would be I would ever do anything like that. And that's what I'm going to do week 4, man.
Yeah, he's on my bench. I'm starting Jaden Daniels.
All right, dog. We've got pause on another player, and it's going to be a running back. And I'm covering I'm going to say Charbonnet, but this is good for any Seattle running back, Jason. Hey, and if you're a Charbonnet owner, you started in the last 2 weeks, and it hasn't been the most efficient thing in the world, but he's got I think he's got a 7 and an 8 finish. Running back 8 and a running back 7 weekly finishes over the last 2 weeks. So you're riding high, man. Well, guess what? You remember how I was talking about Detroit being a pass funnel offense or defense? Now you're going against Detroit. Detroit allowing the 4th fewest rushing yards per game at 76 yards, dude. That's like nothing. And I am taking this personal, Jason, because I won last week. Not against Corion, shout out. But in the main league, I did. Even though Connor got like me 1 fucking point, dude, or 2 fantasy. Connor had 2 fantasy points last week in PPR. So that's what the Detroit just held James Conner to that, dude. And James Conner's been killing it. They made Baker Mayfield the leading rusher for Tampa Bay in week 2, Jason. So held James Conner to 2 fantasy points, made Baker Mayfield the leading rusher for the fucking Buccaneers in week 2, and then with 34 yards. And then he held Kyren. I thought this was pretty impressive, dude. They held Kyren Williams 18 attempts for 50 yards and a touchdown week 1. So, hey, man, they have faced some good running backs, and they just keep on killing them, Jason. And now they get Charbonnet. And I don't care, dude. What if it's Kenneth Walker coming back from an injury? Fucking, I'm telling you, man, I would pump the brakes. I'd be starting a wide receiver in my flex and maybe starting somebody over Charbonnet or anybody else, dude. But he did run for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns against Miami. Like I said, that is a run funnel defense right now. So, yeah, dude, Detroit allowing the fewest points to running backs and the 3rd most points to wide receivers. It is a pass funnel defense. So they are an extreme pass funnel defense. So, yeah, Jason Charbonnet, I'm pausing that motherfucker.
Yeah, you're kind of hoping for a goal line carry. So,
for
the Lions, most of the running stats against the Lions came from Kyren Williams. The yards, their only touchdown was given up to Kyren Williams. That was week 1.
And he got 50 yards. 50.
Yeah, and I think they've only given up 138.
Yeah, dude, so they're badass. Like, the Lions right now are shutting down the run.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's pause. A wide receiver, Jason.
Oh, God. These first 2 players I'm talking about, Tyler, this sucks because they're on my fucking team.
I tend to gravitate towards people I own when I'm doing this.
Yeah, so pause Garrett Wilson.
Oh, yeah.
Projected 14 points. First off, the over and under in this game is 39.5. So not a lot of expected points. List of names, all right? Tarvarius Ward, L'Jarius Sneed, and Christian Gonzalez. All cornerbacks Wilson had to face in the first 3 weeks. He's averaging 11 points during that span. It could have been worse if Aaron Rodgers wasn't forcing that throw near the goal line for Garrett Wilson to score a touchdown. But it's making his fantasy points per route run, check this out, negative 0.11, bro. And this is my first round pick.
That's crazy.
And the negative. So now this week he's lined up against Patrick. Tyler, is it Surtain or Surtain?
I don't know if it's Surtain or Surtain. Patrick, I say Surtain. Patrick Surtain. I don't know though.
Because I thought I came up with a good nickname. I said Patrick Catane.
Surtain. I was thinking the Surtain, the Iron Curtain. Surtain. I don't know.
Okay, so Patrick Surtain, who allows a very low 0.15 fantasy points per route run. That's one of the best in the league. He's given up 5 completions on 12 attempts, 55 yards with a 4.6 yards per attempt. So against DK Metcalf, he allowed 5 PPR points. Versus Pickens, he allowed 4 PPR points. And Mike Evans, 3 PPR points last week. Garrett Wilson is 11th in targets, but a catch rate of 57%. And Tyler, it won't get any better this week. I pause Garrett Wilson.
Yeah, DK Metcalf, Jason, last year was like top 10 targets, under 50% catch rate, and you saw what happened to him last year. You just can't do it. But, hey, I am trading. I wanted to go trade for Garrett Wilson, Jason, after this week because he's going to get fucked again. And the owners are probably just getting nervous or something. I don't really know. Jason, you own him, and I was like, I can't even trade for him because you own him. Now I'm like, Jason, would you trade Jonathan Brooks for Garrett Wilson?
No, I won't do that because, even in our sleeper league, people were talking about Garrett Wilson, but it's like, you got to look at the matchups. You got to look at Aaron Rodgers coming back. They actually looked really good last week. Aaron Rodgers, he even mentioned in an interview, like he is focused and he's determined to have like a good connection with Garrett Wilson. I do believe it's eventually going to happen. And now his worst cornerback matchups have happened in the first 4 weeks. And now it's going to be smooth sailing for him. Hopefully.
Yeah.
See.
And then Jason, time to sit a tight end. And sitting a tight end and maybe even starting a tight end was difficult this week. All the good matchups were like to really obvious tight ends.
Right.
So I was like, I just went with the defense, Jason. That's literally covering tight end almost the best. Oh, they are the best. San Francisco is allowing the fewest points to tight ends at 2.3 points per game. And that is Hunter Henry, Jason. So I know that you probably went out and spent money on Hunter Henry. And I actually really do like Hunter Henry. We just talked about how they are the team that was like, they're 45% of their targets were going to tight ends, which was like crazy. It's like the Falcons of last year. So, all the stats say that it should be great. But, even if you're desperate for tight end, man, I would go elsewhere. Like I said, dude, San Francisco's fucking killing tight ends. Fred Warner is him and Luke Kuechly are some of the best coverage linebackers of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So that's what you're dealing with, man. I thought Parkinson was going to get a ton of targets last week, and he got like 3 for 21 yards. Munt, the tight end for the Vikings, 2 for 12, man, week 2. And then Conklin, week 1, 1 reception for 6 yards. So they really haven't had a lot of elite competition, Jason. But it's not like Hunter Henry and the New England Patriots are elite. They're going to beat him up. He's hoping for a touchdown. He might catch a touchdown, but as far as targets and yards, I would not think he's going to get many.
Yeah, didn't we see some Austin Hooper play last week against the Jets?
Yeah, Austin Hooper is always running around, running routes. But
he's always running around.
After that one game, dude, it just seemed like he was going to dominate. So, and then DeMario Douglas, I think, is going to be the benefactor here because, like, who else are going to throw it to, man? They can't throw it to the tight ends. Yeah, this is what my thinking.
Yeah.
All right, man. Yeah. Now we got play. We got some positivity, Jason. We have a quarterback. And hey, man, I own this dude. I dropped this dude. And I swear to God, I'm so close to picking this guy back up again. I don't know what I'm doing with myself. So Caleb Williams, Jason, had a pretty sweet matchup last week, even though that's more of a running sweet matchup. I just think the Colts defense is just terrible in general.
Yeah.
So let's see. I got to scroll up, dude. I got to scroll up. 1 second. They are hosting the Rams, the beat up to shit Rams. Now, the Rams just played a super tough game. Who'd they play last week, Jason? Tough. The 49ers.
The Niners.
And like literally, there's all these stats from the last like 4 years about teams that play the 49ers a week afterwards are just fucked. They don't win. They don't score many points. Everything, man. So they've got that going with you. Sorry, I'm trying to get my play in frame. So anyways, though, Jason, the Rams allowing the 4th most passing yards per game at 249. So, yeah, man, their defense has not been good. It's a young defense. They're trying to get the shit under control, man. Purdy had 3 touchdowns and pretty much 300 yards against the Rams week 3 with no Kittle, Debo, Christian McCaffrey. Then Kyler Murray, Jason, you remember week 2 with Kyler Murray? 3 touchdowns and was the top scoring quarterback week 2 versus the Rams. And they did hold Goff. I do want to say Goff at home, Jason. Remember we liked Goff at home week 1?
I don't know. Not anymore.
Well, dude, Goff at home week 1, they held him to 217 yards and a touchdown. But that was when their team was a lot healthier. Let's see. Caleb coming off a game where he almost threw 50 times for 363 yards and 2 touchdowns in Indianapolis. And that's a team that is giving up, all the rushing yards, not really the passing yards. And then Jason, I was looking at his matchups for his main wide receivers. DJ Moore has the 6th best matchup this week. Tre'Davious White. And then Odunze, though, has the 4th worst matchup with this guy named Durant, Jason. So Durant is like a really good cornerback, and he's going to be covering Odunze. So look for Kmet and DJ Moore to have big games. I was thinking about picking up Kmet. I was thinking about picking up Caleb Williams. But, hey, I'm just out here. It was pretty hard, Jason. All of the good matchups for quarterbacks were like Josh Allen, versus something. I was like, come on, dude.
Right.
So,
yeah,
this was like, one that was kind of flying under the radar, Jason. But I do believe that Caleb Williams will get you at least 16 points this week.
Well, that's good, man. He just needs to make those completions because check this out. You want these stats from a quarterback, all right? He's 2nd in pass attempts. He's 1st in deep ball attempts, 7th in red zone attempts. And I had 2nd in air yards. So he likes to throw it. He likes to throw deep. He's number 1 in expected fantasy points per game.
Are you serious?
Yeah. Expected fantasy points per game. It's Caleb Williams. He needs to be accurate. He needs catches, man.
You're good at this thing, Jason. You're good at this whole fantasy football thing. But hey, like I said, dude, DJ Moore, I'm firing up, and Caleb Williams, man, I'm firing up as well.
Yep. I got DJ Jason. Moore in my starting lineup right now.
All right, Jason. Here we go, man. Let's go with a person that we like, a running back. And hey, dude, people were literally writing this team and this guy off for dead, and now you've got him as your start.
This was almost my gamble of the week.
I thought I kind of swore you're going to be like, with you, or whatever the fuck.
All right, no. Play running back Rhamondre Stevenson. Projected 14 points, okay? So week 1 and 2, he averaged 19 points. But what happened against the Jets, Stevenson made the crash list with 0 points, and he only had 6 carries. But the Patriots are top 10 in rushing yards per attempt, and the 49ers are near the bottom of opponents' rushing yards per attempt. So it's like, ooh, got a good matchup there. And then Tyler, the 49ers lost their Pro Bowl defensive tackle Javon Hargraves for the season with a partial tricep tear. Maybe he's got to do more dips, bro. He's got to work those out.
Damn.
And before they lost him, the 49ers were already 9th in running back scoring before the Hargraves injury. So now, I'm thinking it might be get a little worse. Kyren Williams scored close to 30 points against 49ers with half the Rams O-line on IR. Now, Stevenson is not the same running back as Williams, but Stevenson is a workhorse back who is 6th in evaded tackles and 7th in breakaway runs. He's also 7th in red zone touches, and that's to add on that he actually only got like one carry inside the red zone last week, and he's still considered 7th on for the year. I expect a bounce back game, and I play Rhamondre Stevenson.
Yeah, I like Rhamondre Stevenson. When people were writing him off for dead, I was like, dude, you can't just take one game against an elite defense and write him off for dead. So it's like, look at James Conner. Literally, James Conner had a worse game. And I didn't hear shit about James Conner. So I just kind of put them in the same category. Given James Conner has got this amazing offense he's on, whereas New England sucks. But hey, I still believe like in OJ Mayo, and if they put Drake May in there, who knows what could happen? People are saying that Drake May is going to be in halfway through the season, Jason. So,
right. I mean, he went in at the end of the Jets game, but I like the fact that how many opportunities this guy does get a game. I want to say last week is just like the defense was so overwhelming. They just couldn't get him the ball. But when he gets inside the goal line in the 20 yards, like the only person they really trust is Stevenson.
Yeah, and he's in that. Yeah. All right, man. Next up, we've got a wide receiver that we want to start, Jason. This is my secret start of the week, and I should have checked to see if he's available, but I know that nobody's starting him. I think that your sister might have started him because she had nobody playing. I feel like somebody started Michael Wilson last week, and I was like, "What the hell's going on around here?"
Oh yeah. Good pick.
You think so, huh?
I was thinking about picking this guy up and starting him.
Well, the Trey McBride thing will help him tremendously.
Yeah.
Like, he will be, like, I would guarantee him like 7 targets if Trey McBride's out. But Michael Wilson hosting Washington, man. Like I said, all you got to tell me is a wide receiver is playing Washington, man, and I'm in. So let's see. Washington allowing the second most passing yards per game at 256. Washington gave up 8 receptions and a touchdown to Godwin week 1. That's a wide receiver 2 for that team, even though he's playing like a wide receiver 1. Jameson Williams banged up, had 5 receptions for 79 yards. Week 2, that's their second wide receiver. And then little Jordan Humphrey had 6 receptions week 3. So you're seeing a trend here of at least like 5 to 8 receptions. And this guy is the slot wide receiver anyways. He's their PPR, he should be their PPR machine anyways. Second-year wide receiver, Jason. TJ Hushmanzada approved. He has the 8th best cornerback matchup versus Benjamin St. Justy. And then Washington allowing the most fantasy points per game to wide receivers at like 45 points per game, Jason. The second most at 36. So they are lapping the fucking field, dude, as far as points to everybody. Michael Wilson and Marvin Harrison Jr. should have a split 44 points this week, dude. Led Arizona in receptions and reception yards, Jason, week 3. Just this last week, he led them in receptions and reception yards. Now, that is a week where Trey McBride went out, Jason, so I see a direct correlation there. And again, McBride in concussion protocol. If he remains in concussion protocols and out, this is a smash play. If he is still playing, I think that he is more of a flex, more of a flex option, but still, man, PPR flex, you can start Michael Wilson.
Washington Redskins, they're very grateful. They appreciative of the NFL teams. They like giving out receiving touchdowns. They have allowed the most receiving touchdowns by any team, with 9. Number 2 is 6, and that's the Rams. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. You get a touchdown. Touchdowns for everybody. You start wide receivers against the Redskins or Commanders.
You said that the first time too, but hey,
I said Redskins. God dang it, dude! Well, shit, man. The first 35 years of my life, they were the Redskins.
I know. Hey, man. All right, dude. Let's talk about a tight end that we like this week, Jason.
Okay, so I got something I got to tell you, Tyler. I gave you a decoy name earlier in the day because I wanted to see a reaction for the first time when I say, "Play Travis Kelce."
Oh shit.
There it is.
You know what? Like, I'm thinking, because now there's an interview with him that just came out today, being like, "I'm okay, not getting points and all." I'm like, "Oh yeah, watch. He's gonna have a big game after this fucking game, or after this stupid article. Taylor Swift's gonna be there. I hate this shit." So yeah, it makes sense to me, Jason.
Yeah. So to go on, this is my gamble of the week, Tyler. This is my Rick risky, man, I can't talk, dude. riskiest play of the week, and it's Travis Kelce. All right, so he's projected 10 points, which is high for a play of the week for tight ends. But I hear the rumors, Tyler. I see the games. He's not the same tight end that Taylor Swift fell in love with.
Oh,
Averaging 3 receptions, 22 yards, and 5 points a game. But this week, we will see the Kelce of the pass. Because the Chargers are his bitch. He averages 8 receptions, scored 6 touchdowns in the last 5 games. 4 out of those 5 games, he had over 100 receiving yards.
Oh, shit. You're right, Jason.
And, Tyler, that's not even the best news. You may have heard of this. Safety Derwin James, who covers Travis Kelce for most of the time, is suspended and will not be in this upcoming game. The backup safeties, let me see if I get this name right, all right? Elahi Gilman and Elijah Molden, they allow a higher quarterback rating and more yards than James did this year. The cornerbacks are decent in stopping the wide receivers, even though there is no stopping Rashee Rice. But Kelce will see more opportunities in this depleted secondary. Chargers are his bitch. I'm sorry, Chargers. I went through his 20 games against him, dude. It is crazy. When he when he plays against the Chargers, he kills them every time.
Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, there was a game where because he quit performing pretty much right after this game, Jason. Literally, he had 179 yards, 13 targets, 12, because I owned him last year, and everybody was like, "How can you stop this? This is unstoppable." He's literally the greatest player versus zone of all time, because that's the Chargers literally played zone against him the entire time, and it was like, why don't the Chargers switch it up? Nobody fucking understood. But yeah, I mean, all of that, Jason, and then from then on, he fucking was like wide. He was tight end like fucking 30 or 13 or 14.
I play him this week. He's my Gamma of the week, but I play him. He'll get you over 10 points.
Yeah, dude. He caught one more touchdown after that game last year. That was it. And he's like tight end 15, tight end 48, tight end 18. So yeah, he's not even been startable this year at all.
He's like,
so, yeah, Jason, that's pretty risky.
I gotta be good against the Chargers. I gotta play well against the Chargers, at least against the Chargers.
Hey man, that is the show. If you disagree with anything that we said, let us know down in the comments. If you agree with us, bolster our confidence, man. Let us know down in the comments. All right. Hopefully we earned a thumbs up. Hopefully we earned a subscription. When you thumbs up it sends us out to a ton more people. And that's what we need, man. We just need eyes on this. They can make up their minds if they don't like us or not. But hey, that would help us sleep at night, man. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. Jason, I tell you you're not a ventriloquist. Maybe you are. Could you send us out?
Yeah.
You know, they're drinking water like.
I said to make sure you watch the live video on Friday and come have a drink with us. Let's talk shop. You'll see our rankings for the week. Also, make sure to check out Tyler's video that just came out about the wide receivers and quarterback matchups. That is great information to have. And it's a great video. Make sure to go check it out. It'll really help you out each week. So, and I'll talk to you in the live episode on Friday. Deuces.
This is a Fantasy Red Zone, and we appreciate you.